talk a lot about giving back. I know you off air you said something to the effect of thank you is BS. Get out there and do something.
It's corny.
Why are you so big on giving back? And what do you say to the, because let's face it, when you make it out, you in that 1%, whether it's hoops, whether it's you being a doctor, whether it's whatever it is, if you're not in the 1%, you're in a very small percentage. So what do you say to those people who've made it out, they're well off, got themselves some resources, but they're like, man, these my resources, man? Two-part question, pardon me.
It's one part, a comma's in the middle. Just who's listening to understand the eagerness and the good feeling of how you want to present that to the table, the person that you may be interviewing. I get it.
Appreciate it.
A lot of us was taught run-on sentences when we were growing up, not understanding English, the language, and like anything else that goes with it. You're so excited, you just want to put the words down. You're going to deal with the grammar a little later on. And like anything else, as long as the message is being felt. So, with that to be said, that's a strong commitment. What to say to that individual that looks at you and says, thank you. I gotta honestly say, I don't know when they thank you coming my way. This is what I'm here for. I signed up for this because I've observed my past. I've looked at those movies and seen so many of the leaders who sacrificed their lives, whether it's through gun violence by the KKK. Now today they call it the white, so forth and so on, whatever you want to say. But again, we got our own KKK that look like us. Bloods, Crips, Kings, whatever names you want, MS-13, whatever else you want, DDPs if they still, and whatever else you want to call them. The bottom line is, when it all comes down to the reality, is who's willing to understand it for what it's worth. What's more important, the giving back and mean it and doing it, or the thank you that immediately you say behind that person's back, look at him now. He done forgot where he came from. He thanked me, but I'm not asking him to polish my shoes and follow my footsteps, but just don't forget where you come from. Because quickly, we don't think, impulsively we respond, and the wrong thing is said, the wrong thing is done, and then when we're sitting back behind what we call the 8-ball, now you're asking for forgiveness. And hope somebody can understand that, because you might have had your own level of mental roadblocks, the label, I never call special ed, need attention, because a lot of people didn't want to sign the paper, they called their parent, their guardian. And the bottom line is just hoping that you can find somebody to understand what you're going through, from the past to the present, the immediate, and just, again, stay true to your word. So, I've always said it, my career network days, I've always said it in my workshops, I've always said it to the parents when they come and they sit down with me and we're doing financial aid, and I never look at a clock and so forth and so on, and how folks walk out of here and do whatever, however, if it motivated them or not. That's not what I'm doing. This is who I am. Again, watching, which a lot of our present teen adults don't want to adhere to that type of conversation, because it's history, and the only history they want to talk about is whatever's going to make them feel good at the moment, versus what's the reality and how you can get ahead. By now, watch them people who don't truly sacrifice, and when they're talking about it, it's where your headset is at. Because I swallowed some of that quietly and said, man, this person stood up on the stage and said ABCD knowing his time was going to be short. And he put puts them away. For me to go to Memphis and now see the cars parked that Martin Luther King drove, and now to see now the museum, tears drop down my eyes when I'm down there with Coach Rayford. When I had Mouse, Alex Torres graduated when I put him down in Tennessee Prep when we first opened up the prep school 8 years ago. And it's like anything else. It's the reality. How you truly feel about it. When somebody says to you, oh, thank you, that's a company line. Everybody's taught, thank you. But do you really mean it? So I'll say, no, that's kind of corny. I don't want to hear that.
I'm still in that one.
The thank you is giving back. So then that's what I point to the panel. And I say, this is the thank you. And now how many of you willing to sit back and come over here with your phones that you don't pay for and sit and talk to them where they can help you advance your skill, your knowledge. May look like you're not through the bloodstreams or not, but they're willing to come here on a Saturday and give you this. And it's for free, by the way, y'all. Y'all didn't pay anything when you came through the doors. It's the same as me out there Saturday, Sunday, back with the showcase. People say, oh, why you don't charge? Why I need to charge? There's some people that's making their money in doing that. It's not what I'm in the game for. Because there's a whole lot of people that sacrifice their lives. They never got their financial rewards. But their conversations, and now they're legends. History, the Harriet Tubman, the Medgar Evers, and many, many more that today's teen adult can't relate to. But again, who wants to accept reality? The reality is give it back. Because you stole it, if you're not, from somebody right in your own backyard, possibly, or you went places and they was talking about that language that you needed to listen to, that motivated you. Once again, give it back. One way or the other. It's on you.
Now going back to your...
If I answered your question.
You did. Going back to your high school, I want to touch on the fact that has some of the richest history nationwide when it comes to boys basketball, dating all the way back to the 1940s with guys like Dolph Schayes and them. Why do you think it is that Clinton was producing pro after pro after pro at a point in time?
I think, off the top of my head, how the school was put together. All boys one time, Walton, all girls. Outside of basketball players, Burt Lancaster. Movie stars, growing up no different than us. It was like, man, they can make it. Now finding out that he's from same type community, we might give that a shot. It wasn't that name of, yo, you go to Clinton, you be lucky after school if you get home. Versus today in the last 20 years strong, I ain't going to Kennedy. Yeah. When we was leaving our middle school on Webster Avenue, I don't know how many of them, I ain't going to Roosevelt, yeah. I Knowles, you got to do something for me. Wait a minute, you wasn't listening when you was in the 6th grade. You was listening when you was in the 7th grade. I was right here watching you. Now you want to sit here and plead. Snow, save me. Now your parent want to come here and beg for forgiveness. I'm sorry, my child, but Snows, what can you do? So what I started doing, I had the middle schools from the hood, Webster Avenue, Washington Avenue, Park Avenue, that was now going to Rose, coming to the school down the block that they graduated from. telling them, yo, man, you don't want to. Yo, you can survive. Well, obviously they was doing something like that up there at a school like Clinton. Yo, you go up there. The ball players are serious. Coming from all parts of the city, mainly the Bronx, Harlem. Because the school don't sit on top of nobody's community. You just go and now you walk down the hill from the train, get off the bus. But you know when you get there, you got a chance to survive. I never walked in Clinton's hallways like this. I was all boy. But they was there for a purpose. So it's more like a sports type arena. You want to get a white jacket versus everybody wore black. But if you was on a sports team, that white jacket like meant a lot. And they had good coaches. They were getting cared. And then they had a lot of names that was coming out that was going to the colleges. And you could see them on TV. And you saying, yo, I would like that opportunity. Versus seeing them going to jail. Now you see them on the news. And it was never like, yo, there was a riot up there. Yo, there was gang going on up there. Violence.
Everything was serious business coming out of Clinton.
It had a good respect. Good respect. So you had Boys High on the other side. Same thing. In the heart of Brooklyn. But they had a lot of athletes coming out of there. Well recognized. And you're going to be protected. So I was watching it when I was in the 10th grade. You know, everybody want to walk with you. They want to know you. You're protected just off your reputation, or you on the team. Whether you're a football player, whether you're a basketball player, whether you're the track star or not, baseball, you was respected. Yo. And that was enough to keep me focused. Where I wanted to just like, yo, be a part of it. Never got mad, sat up in the stand and said, I'm better than that man. You know, y'all like to go to their games, pay my 50 cents. Go sit in the stands, paying 50 cents. You know I was gonna get turned on. And I was gonna watch it, I was gonna learn because they was gonna have some players out there that I could learn a little bit from, respecting my peers. How many today respect their peers?
Nah, man.
Basketball is falling down. And I have the coaches who call me from out of the city, knowing what I do. Yo, anything? We ain't got no ball players here. Now, if you want to, I ain't gonna say it wrong. I shouldn't, if you want to potential OG on whatever level, come on in town. I can take you where they're sitting back and relaxing and so forth and so on. But it's a lot of distractions. What his major distraction is this. And it's created a whole lot of negativity. Because again, they're not strong enough to hold off the entourage that wants to take them around the wrong corner. So, you don't want to blame single parent household. I live with a father. He never talked to me about what I need to be prepared for, so forth and so on. I hope you're going to be able to do this the right kind of way. We never sat down and talked. I'm living with him all the way up to 18 years in age. He had his own agenda. Follow me? The bottom line was, I had my big brother, like I said earlier in this conversation. We could sit down, we could talk. I go with him. So he was getting it done, going to Hughes, with a legendary basketball player who got caught out there for negative behavior. Pee Wee Kirkland, well respected as a ball player. Everybody talk about it. Pee Wee openly shares his lifestyle, what he went through while attending high school, moving on to college. Legendary with the best stories going. And he tells it. Now he comes back. New person in life. School of Skills. Supported by Nike. That's what it's all about. Because anybody deserves a chance. Whether you want to put second, what about the person that's been doing the good and all of a sudden they fell in? So this is why I say the best thing that ever happened for me was going to a school like Clinton. Never playing on the team, being cut, no matter what I'm thinking, feeling. But it was enough to keep me motivated. Because you're out there competing with the best. Versus being at that school, we only got a few that's dreaming. They so caught up into still the negatives. I'm with the heroin era. The guys that are playing, and they still doing wrong. They try to hide it, but I seen it. Cafeteria. That don't mean I gotta follow.
No.
And these are my guys who become future pros. But they was bad boys. But they were somebody they would listen to when it was time to get their act together. Because again, anybody deserves a second chance.